Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, looks like we have a few additions to the agenda. Under the consent calendar, we have January 26 budget revenues, January 26 expenditures, January 26 balance sheet, Northern Lakes Youth Hockey Association contribution report, additional bills for approval. Under community organizations, we have Jonathan Grothy with the Cross Lakers. Commission reports, we have D, memo dated February 2nd from Public Works, re-5-year road plan. And then under public safety, we have Extona managed IT service proposal for the police department. Is there a motion to approve the additions to the agenda?
I move to approve the additions to the agenda.
There's a motion.
I'll second.
There's a second by Robin. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of passing the additions to the agenda signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Up next is public forum. Action may or may not be taken on any issues raised. If council requires more information or time for consideration, the issues will be placed on the agenda of the next regular council meeting. Speaker must state their name and address. At the discretion of the mayor, each speaker is given a 3-minute time limit. First up for public forum is our own Minnesota State Representative Ben Davis. So come on up, Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
It is an honor to stand before you tonight and talk a little bit about myself and what I've been doing and what we're going to be working on in the state legislature. And then I was hoping to also hear a little feedback. I don't know if that's allowed in public forum, but that's what I was hoping to get done. Actually, I came here to be more ears than a mouth. So my name is Ben Davis. I'm the state rep. I've been the state rep for the Cross Lake area. It goes all the way up to Grand Rapids. I got elected in November 2022. Of course, I came into a Democrat trifecta. Really the only power and authority I had during that time was to be a voice for our district. We certainly were blowing the whistle on the fraud that was going on in our state. I will confess to you in full transparency, I had no idea that it was at least $9 billion worth of Medicaid fraud since 2018. Thank God that we had U.S. Attorney, unfortunately, former U.S. Assistant Attorney Joe Thompson. I wish he was still working here. He did a very good job of exposing a lot of the fraud and investigating a lot of the fraud that's been going on in our state. So hats off to him. Yeah, we had no idea that it was that big. Fast forward to 2025, where we got a tie in the House, and we were able to push forward some legislation for our communities, and some of which actually got signed into law by the governor. And so I'd just like to share that with you very briefly. Because we had a Republican speaker, the Republicans in office, we chose 3 major bills to push forward regarding fraud, and I'm going to go a little out of order, but House File 1 proposed the creation of an independent Inspector General office. I wasn't a big fan of this. I did sign on to the bill. I wasn't a big fan of it, though, because if anyone knows me, you know I don't like growing the bureaucracy. To me, it's already way too big, especially in the executive branch of government. I did sign on to it because we were at a point in our state with the fraud where we had to do something. I also wasn't a big fan of it because the truth is our constitutional officers should be doing their job. Governor Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison, if they would just focus on actually combating the fraud and holding people accountable, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in. That's just the truth. And I'm more than willing to hear arguments to that from the other side. Another bill that we had was House File 3. House File 3 had to do with the Office of Legislative Auditor. Now, that's not the same as the state auditor. The Office of Legislative Auditor exists for the purpose of holding our state government accountable. They do audits on state government departments, and they do a very good job. We wanted to give them a little teeth, though, in legislation. We wanted to give them the authority to go back on their previous audits and hold departments accountable by holding them accountable by saying, hey, did you guys make these fixes? We couldn't get bipartisan support on it, though. And then House File 2, we were able to get this one across the finish line, a big portion of it. And I was the chief author of that bill, House File 2. And what House File 2 consisted of was, number one, so previously in language, it said that state employees were encouraged to report fraud. Encouraged, and it was like that for years. I think it was like that before Governor Walz came about. And God only knows why we would write state statute like that, that if you're a state employee, you know there's fraud going on, and you just are encouraged to report it. So I was able to get that changed to, you must promptly report fraud. The governor did sign that into office. That's a big deal, because now we can hold state employees accountable to actually reporting fraud. And then the second part of that I could not get bipartisan support on, was that we asked that grants management would actually do site visits to make sure that the organizations or businesses getting grant funding actually existed. I could not get bipartisan support. So that's what I'm going to be working on moving forward this year. The look on your face says it all. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them. I don't know if that's allowed or not. So.
No, I think we're doing pretty good right now, but thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate
Mr.
it.
Mayor,
Yeah.
I also want to thank you
You're welcome.
for the light you're shining on this.
You're welcome.
What are we up to, 241?
261.
261.
Thank you.
Great job, and I appreciate
Thank
the
you.
work you're doing.
Appreciate
Thank you so
that.
much. Thank you
Thank
to
you.
this council.
Ma'am,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor,
Sure.
I too would like to thank both of you. I worked in state government for 27 years. I was at a table with 4 executive branch agencies asking for the Department of Administration to take the lead to have an agency-wide subrecipient monitoring system. DHS told me, we'll take care of our own house. So this has been going on, you guys, for many, many years, and people have spoken. And I'm glad it's in the front page. It's unfortunate for Minnesota, but again, I thank you, Mayor
Thank
and
you.
Representative, for leading, because we need leaders. Thanks.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Sorry. Next up on public forum, Jonathan, we have a whole section for you.
This is completely different.
Oh, perfect.
And
Go
actually,
for
I
it.
kind of think I may want to transfer that back into,
Go for
from
it.
the community thing into Public Works area, if they're going to be discussing.
Sweet. We'll roll with it.
Completely different from my normal here. So, thank you, Representative Davis, for coming to the meeting tonight. No matter what's happening in the state to distract from the issue of waste and fraud, a resolution needs to remain a priority. We all feel the financial burden. I came here tonight mostly to commend Mayor Jackson
Thank you.
for his recent actions, drawing attention to and working to resolve the issue of waste and fraud within the state of Minnesota. What started with Jackson as an idea grew from just a few local mayors to now more than 260 mayors in the state in agreement. Personally, I don't see why all mayors in this state are not in agreement, because I feel that if you're not against waste and fraud, you're either a fool or a thief, and likely part of the problem. I watched your entire press conference from the state capitol, and I want to say that you did an excellent job
Thank you.
representing the city of Cross Lake and the state of Minnesota.
Thank you.
I know from my personal experience being on city council in suburban Minneapolis that great effort is required from a city council member or mayor. Council members are putting in that effort as a service to the community, not for any personal or political agenda in mind or with any financial gain in mind. Also, the council has limited authority and control over the city, within the city boundaries, and virtually no control over things beyond the boundaries. And while they have limited authority beyond the city limits, what goes on beyond the borders greatly affects the city, especially when it comes to financial issues like waste and fraud. So thank you again to Mayor, the entire
you.
council and our other service too. I want to thank you all for your commitment and service to this community. So,
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else for public forum? Cindy, come on up. Great job at Winterfest this weekend, by the way.
So
it was
much
a hit.
praise. Wow, good job, good job, good job. I also want to thank TJ and the Park and Rec Department for hosting the kickoff party to Winterfest Friday night. I don't know how much firewood we went through. 2 crates, and I'm sure 2 plus 3, 4 cords of wood in those fire pits are just amazing, so that was really fun. Patrick, you added lights on this side of the skating hill, and a couple plugins for the heaters in the bathroom, so that was really nice. Thank you very much for doing that. The sledding was fantastic, so whoever has built that sledding hill is amazing. I know, Jackson, you had a thing on Facebook, you actually tried it out.
I did, it was great.
By the end of the night, after the temperatures cooled off a little, the kids were coming down this thing right onto the lake.
I love
We
it.
could have had human bowling out there.
We could have.
They were having a blast.
We don't have an ambulance yet, so let's not.
So whoever is doing the Zamboni work on the pond, that was fantastic. And I just will mention that thankfully, the weather wasn't a brutal, horrible, usually cold winter night, but we did miss the warming house.
Yes,
But,
we did. We
TJ
did.
and his team did everything they could to make it an enjoyable evening, and we just thank you very much for that. It was wonderful.
It was perfect. All right, anybody else for this public forum?
Love Fest.
Come on up, Aaron, we miss you.
Aaron Herzog, 14083 Tall Timbers Trail, Cross Lake. And mine will be shorter than the first 3. Okay. When the building was built,
Yeah.
for unknown reasons, we did not put up a plaque that states who built it, when it was built, that type of thing. I'm asking you folks if you would be kind enough to do that.
Of City Hall?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we can do that. I think
Okay.
that's fine. You know, we'll see how much it is to put up a plaque, and
no idea.
either do I. We'll have one of the city staff look into it, and
Okay.
maybe we can have a little, well, you'd be good to come to that meeting. We'll schedule a meeting,
Sounds good.
because you
And,
know all the background and whatever.
And that's the length of it.
Perfect. We'll have
Okay.
someone
Thank
reach
you.
out. Awesome. Good idea, Aaron. Anybody else?
Yes.
Come on up, Ann. How are you?
I am well.
I like your
Good for
jacket.
you for remembering my name. I thought I was on the agenda, so I was waiting to
You
be
were last
offici-
month.
Last month?
You were last month. It was on the agenda, and we couldn't find you in the crowd, but we'll take you now.
I was out of the country. I'm really sorry.
Can I get your address?
Thank you for taking me now. Ann Schwartz, I live on Edgewater Lane, and I'm here with my husband Fred. You all know Fred, you probably don't know me. Some of you might remember me from last fall. So I want to thank you and I'm sorry that I wasn't here. I didn't.
It's okay.
I thought it was February that I was on the agenda. And thank you all for your service as well. I know your job is not easy, so I want to acknowledge that before I share concerns, okay?
Love Fest is over.
I'm not the rah-rah one.
That's all right.
But contrary to what you said, I do think it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
So I'm here to share an overall concern, and I'm going to follow my script so I don't
Yep.
go off on a tangent.
Yep.
In the pattern that I've seen in city council decisions, not all of you, many of these started years before your
Yeah.
service, but in the 27 years that we've been residents in Cross Lake, and I've been coming up here my whole life. So what I have seen, I will summarize as short-sighted decisions and decisions that have unfairly burdened residents, including my family and my neighbors. My neighbors are very happy that I'm here. Your residents are the backbone and foundation of this community. We offer services that bring in money. We pay taxes, some of us exorbitant taxes and fees. We participate in the community. We volunteer our time and services. We give to local causes and charities, and we help our neighbors in need. We make this community. We follow the rules, most of us, and contribute to the health and well-being of the community, yet I don't believe proper consideration for our residents is given when some of the decisions are made. I'd like to see your decisions be more favorable to residents. Some of us are being priced out of our homes, and it's not all due to decisions made here, but it all adds up.
Yep.
Okay? I will save a lot of time. I've been here a lot, and before many of you were here. I'm not going to dump on the list of past decisions made that have unfairly burdened Cross Lake residents. Since we have homesteaded here that I've seen, the damage is already done. Rather, I want to focus on a couple of the latest decisions that have unfairly burdened residents who are trying to afford to live here, our home. So the first one is the city sewer. And if any of you were around back when that whole discussion took place, I was part of all those meetings. I helped. I donated part of my land so that we could do it. The plan was to install the sewer around the lake to save our lake and to get rid of the septics. I fully supported that. And that's why I agreed to let you put the sewer down our road and across our property. As you know, the execution of that plan has been extremely limited. So the few of us who have it and have had it bear the cost as well. In addition, poor planning on the council's part, at least back then, I don't know about all the decisions since, has resulted in a sewer that cannot handle even the limited use it currently has because it's so centrally located. The problem, as I've been told, is it's the vacationer traffic during the summer.
That is when it does increase and we see those thresholds meet their max.
Yeah. But that should not be my problem. It was poor planning, and it wasn't fully executed the way it was originally planned. But it's become my problem now because now you want me to install a meter and pay for it on my tiny 400 square foot seasonal guest cabin, which is on the property where I live. Which leads me, these are kind of connected, to my next concern. I rent my 400 square foot seasonal guest cabin with one tiny bathroom 5 weeks in the summer. And I preached this last year when you put the 750 fee in place to offset the rising costs of living in Cross Lake. I would not do it if I didn't have to do it. And note that if I weren't renting it those 5 weeks, I'd have family staying there, so that same toilet would be flushing. So common sense should prevail in our decisions, along with consideration for our residents. You putting that meter on is not going to tell you anything. It is not going to influence any of your decisions about the sewer. It shouldn't. Don't waste time on it. Because if I weren't renting those 5 weeks, I'd have my family there. Okay? In addition, I now have to pay $750 a year to rent my tiny seasonal cabin for 5 weeks. I now have to rent it another week to cover the $750. So more renting.
I'm not
Okay.
trying to cut you off, but let's keep going.
Okay, I'm almost done. So I was told the fee was for inspection of the cabin for safety, the inspection of the septic, which I do not have, and for the calls to the city, I wrote this down when I was here last time, to address problems caused by renters, which I do not have. You've never received a single call, and you can talk to any one of my neighbors, never had a problem. So Chip came and inspected my property, wonderful man, we had a helpful visit. It took him less than 5 minutes. 5 minutes for $750. We live on a property where the rental cabin is located, so we're right there. Okay, we supervise our renters. You've had no complaints for noise, littering, too many cars, too many people, because I control all that. Okay? I'm right there to make sure that doesn't happen. All right, so I have to wonder, what am I paying for? And why $750? When we have other people who don't even live here, who rent large homes, with many bathrooms, I would add, year-round, not available readily when there's a problem, not there to prevent problems, okay? The risk and expense you have with them is much higher, all right? Some people buy places just to rent them up here, which brings in a lot of other problems. So I'd like to know how many people you've actually fined for not paying the licensing fee, because I know some who haven't and are still running their rental. How many of you shut down because they haven't paid? And the fine, how many have you collected? I'd really like to know. Because again, it's the people who try to do the right thing who end up
Yeah.
paying the larger costs.
Yeah.
So do us a civic service, please make decisions that make sense for the situations and that are good for the good people who live here.
Point well taken. Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Schwartz.
I was told the $750 fee was going to be reassessed for situations like mine this year when I came last year. And I haven't heard anything about that.
I haven't heard anything about that yet myself.
Okay, because I
About
came and
the
spoke to
fine being
that
reassessed.
last year. And the council said, we'll take that into consideration, but you needed to implement it, and it was easier to do a flat fee.
Yes, that is accurate. Now that we're starting year 2, we're going to see how that goes. We just made some few minor modifications and tweaks, I believe, in December, correct? The $750, I understand. Granted, you have a 400-foot square cabin that did take 5 minutes. You did have all your stuff in your cabin that was needed on that life safety inspection. But when the chief is going to some of these bigger homes, like you had said,
Yep.
and they don't have their life safety inspection list checked out, and they don't have their list completed, and it's bigger and it takes more time, I can see your point of, maybe if it was something smaller, it should be a little cheaper, but that's where we were. That was kind of what
Right.
the framework had happened before I assumed this seat. So that's sadly what we are working on or working with at the moment. Now, is there always room for improvement? Yes. At the last or 2 council meetings ago, I think when we had talked about these short-term rental ordinance tweaks, I thought maybe there was even more room for opportunity to try to streamline some stuff coming up here in the future. But since we're just starting year 2 out, I think we need to see how this beginning few months rolls out and how many we actually get to sign up.
Okay.
I know we are working behind the scenes of fining people. We just had that whole trash can fiasco. But I know they're going hard at people sending administrative fines from the city office that are not paying, that do not have a license, and they are being caught. Now, we're not going to catch everybody, sadly.
No, you don't
But
know
we're
about
working-
everybody
Right, we're
even.
working our damnedest to try to get these people
Right.
in compliance.
Well, when I was here last fall, I proposed a graduating scale for the
Yep.
fee, very specific, very black and white, very easy to implement. And if you'd like me to give you a copy of that again, it makes so much more sense. You would get more money from the bigger homes that rent year-round and the people who, have people call complaining and stuff like that. And then for those of us who do the right thing and are
Yep.
just trying to survive here,
Yep.
it would be a more reasonable fee.
Was this last?
Last fall I was here.
Okay, I honestly don't remember, so I apologize.
Well, you didn't listen,
do you?
Jack.
I don't remember.
recall that.
Maybe it was the year prior, maybe.
No, it was when the fee announcement came out.
But I
Okay.
think,
This
That
room was packed, and I got so many
Okay,
people.
that was 2 years ago, Chip was saying. So that's probably why I don't recall. I don't recall. Otherwise, I would say, hey, yeah, let's take a look at it.
Okay,
But
well,
if
you were here
if you
because the
could-
mayor was here. He was very rude, and we talked about that. And people were out in the
right.
lobby.
Send
and
that
asking me
scale.
to come back.
Perfect. Send that scale to Chip, and we'll take a peek at it.
Okay, it's the way other
But-
cities do it.
Yes, we'll take a peek
borrowed
at it.
it.
I don't want to say we're doing
No,
it,
I
but
know.
just send it to Chip, and we'll go from there.
That's what you want, Chip, more paperwork, right?
There you go. Throw me in as well. You might as well.
Okay.
We'll be a good bunch.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann. Appreciate your time. All right, is there anybody else for public forum? Seeing none, let's move right on to the consent calendar. Does any council member have any questions about the consent calendar? No. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second by Jamie. Those in favor of the consent calendar signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Community organizations, we've scratched that, and we're going to move that to Public Works. Let's go to Mayor and Council Members' report. I have a resolution here accepting donations from Council Member Helis here for $1,000 for the Police Department Public Safety Equipment. Thank you, Bob. Cross Lake Ideal Alliance for $15,000 for Police Department Exercise Room. Cross Lake Firefighters Relief Association for $1,778.87 for rescue equipment from Jefferson Fire and Safety. The following grants from the Initiative Foundation for $4,000 for Disaster Preparedness and Recovery Grant. Sourcewell times 2, $3,250 for planning and zoning training, and $1,500 for the open meeting law training. Is there any questions? Seeing no questions, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion, Mayor, to approve.
There's a motion to approve the donations. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second by Sandy. Those in favor of approving the, sorry, I was looking at Sandy. Those in favor of approving the addition signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. I'm just going to interject something under Mayor's report. First off, thank you everybody for just the little attaboy accolades, but I truly couldn't do it without a supportive council and a supportive city staff, so I really do appreciate you guys on those efforts as well. Lately, there's been some rumors in town that, you know, I want to seek higher office. That is not true. I simply hang my hat on this city every single day because I believe in this vision that we're doing, and we have a lot more work to do. So sadly, you're all stuck with me for a little while longer. So my heart and soul is in Cross Lake at the moment, so thank you. All right, city administration. Let's go city administrator's report. City administrator's report. Go ahead, Ms. Conway.
We received a check back from that decertification of the TIF 19 district. We submitted the full payment to the county, and then they dispersed it to the 3 authorities. We received a check for $7,281.94. I am seeking a request or a suggestion to put it into a specific fund,
I know I'm
and
not,
that's the council's privy to
Yeah.
do so.
Can we,
I know I'm probably not the only one who thinks this way, but I, you know, given the constantly adding new requests for, you know, treatment of roads, I kind
Yeah.
of think
And
that
you
would be a good place to put it, was in our road restructuring.
make the motion, road fund.
I'm in agreement.
Okay, I move that those extra funds be allocated to the road fund.
Perfect. There's a motion to transfer the $7,281.94 into the road fund. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second by Jamie. Those in favor of moving the $7,281.94 into the road fund signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you. The next thing I have is we're up on our liability insurance renewal, and part of that comes with a question of tort liability. Historically, the city has not waived tort liability limits, which means that if someone were to come after the city, one person can recover no more than $500,000 for a claim, and all claims from a single incident are capped at $1.5 million. So if the city chooses to waive, then those limits change, as you can see. They would be able to recover up to $2 million for one incident. Given today's high costs, it was suggested by our local insurance rep that we take a look at this, so I'm bringing it to your attention.
I have no problem spending money or passing something that saves the city a little more money in the long run if something were to happen. Is that my understanding? Or no?
So I think we'd be
Or was this
liable-
against us or against somebody else?
would we be liable for more, wouldn't we?
Well, your tort liability has certain limits, right?
Right.
Okay. Could they go around a roundabout? Certainly, anybody can. If you decide not to waive the tort limits, then I think that it would deem a further discussion in the budget process when we set it for next year. And I would be okay to leave it for this year.
If we waived it, would we have to purchase excess liability coverage? Would we have to?
No, no. And I did ask Shane, who is our local rep, what the cost would be, and he said until the full package is submitted to the league, he could not estimate that amount for me. So,
I have no problem doing this right now.
May I ask a question?
certainly.
What would be the benefit to waive it? I mean, I think we're protecting the city by having it in place, not to exceed the 500,000. So there's a risk to.
Oh, a risk to going higher?
Yes.
So they could have a higher payout? Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so-
I see what you're
Yep.
saying.
Yeah.
I would-
Sorry.
If you're okay, Mayor, I'd be
Yeah.
ready to make a motion that we
So,
retain the waiver.
Why did he bring this up?
It's asked of every city every year during the general liability policy renewal.
Okay.
We have a motion, I'll second that.
Robin, you made the motion?
Motion to
Or
waive
did
it?
Sandy?
I made the motion
Yep.
that the city retains its current process and does not waive tort liability limits.
There's a motion, there's a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. See, I was taking it was more coverage for the city. I'm sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. Commission reports, Public Works. Jonathan, are you okay if you go after? Grothy? Okay.
All right, the first thing is the construction cost shared agreement with Crow Wing County. We've done this the last few years. Need to have you guys make a motion on that. That means we pair up with the county and get better pricing.
Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns?
No, I'd like to make a motion to.
Go ahead,
accept that.
Sandy, make the motion.
Make a motion to share the construction costs with the county.
Sandy made a motion to approve of the cost share agreement between the city and the county. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
There's a second by Bob. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving the cost share agreement signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
All right, the next one is from the Public Works Commission about the sidewalk and crosswalk for Edgewater. There's 3 different costs on that. First one was the 6-foot concrete sidewalk for Marine Max for the dock people, and that was $410,000, or replace a 10-foot wide bituminous trail, estimate of $275, or option. The other one would be an option that's $552,000 to pull the curb out and redo the whole road, or that part of the road, I should say. Or we can go with $50,000 for just a crosswalk up there.
Okay. Do you want to say anything, Jonathan?
Well, of course, we feel that something in the second option of being, would be the best situation. Of course, it's the most expensive,
Of course.
and yes.
I'm not meaning that in a
It would
cocky.
not necessarily have to be the concrete sidewalk, but it does, what that does is just, it doesn't just add a sidewalk that continues the walkability area. It narrows the road, slows down people's driving, and would basically creates kind of the, all the way from the roundabout up where it's 35 miles an hour, it's the narrowed road, so you tend to drive slower. I know that, like I say, it's the most expensive. The issue with doing just the third option of a crosswalk helps in terms of one location, getting people across the street, but then there's kind of like no place for them to go. And I guess I didn't read the memo from what you had. I read your agendas and what you were planning to present tonight a little bit, but so I don't know if there was where exactly the crosswalk is.
It would go by Edgewater, so it'd be right on the corner.
At that intersection
Yep,
then.
yep.
So it leads you a little bit north of what would be
What you're aiming
Dairy
for,
Queen,
yeah.
and actually we've got residents who are business along there too. And so it kind of, it helps maybe the issue a little, but it doesn't continue the walkability section.
So it sounds like in here, as we read on, option 3, install a crosswalk at Edgewater Lane with flashing lights for $50. But the commission feels that this is an expensive project and possibly would be on board with option 3 if necessary. Questions were asked if someone did get hurt, blah, 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 blah. When are we redoing that surface again? Is that 27 or 28? 28. $552,000 is hard to budget in 2 years.
No, and I would suggest the 415, where it's bituminous rather than concrete. But it does narrow the road in that case. I know no matter what, I look at this as 275 is not a cheap project either. So anything we
No.
try to do to continue this is going to have a very big price tag attached.
So was 552, that was just literally just the trail, correct? Or just the
The
walking, moving?
552 would be moving the curb over and putting in concrete sidewalk along there. The 415
I was gonna
would be
say,
if it's not concrete and it goes.
It's gonna be
to
way more expensive than
asphalt.
that.
Why would the asphalt have to be 10 feet wide?
I don't know that it has to be.
I think that's more of a county thing, isn't it, Phil? Standard bike trail. Yep.
Is that what our current bike trail width is? The new one we laid? Holy buckets.
Can I ask Phil a question?
Of course you can.
Because in our notes, it said that you mentioned the possible trail connecting Shores Drive. You knew that was going to come up, didn't you? Down with.
Come on up, guys.
So I'm wondering, like, when might we know about the feasibility of that trail? Because that would add some connectivity, behind, right?
Right. That's just a desire to get kind of around that Marine Max area and where it would come across. The straightest spot is to go to Bald Eagle. We're not sure the residents would like that along there, so there's a thought about going on Marine Max. Priority-wise, I think you saw the report we gave.
Yep.
We just try to lay out high priority, medium priority, low priority. Said high priority is somewhere from 3 to 7 years out, is what we're thinking. That hasn't been blessed by the council. So I would say that trail connection, if everything went as we laid it out, which means money, 3 to 7 years.
So, did that answer your question, Sandy?
Well, I have another question. How long would it take to actually put up a crosswalk? And has anyone checked with the county about splitting the cost?
So the crosswalk was thought to be budgeted for 2027 at the earliest, so that you'd have an opportunity to put it in a budget. It's essentially curb cuts and the rapid flashing beacons. So
Has
we
anyone
just
checked
told
with the
them,
county about splitting the cost?
Sure, you're probably gonna.
You're gonna
I know
tell
what
you
you're-
to-
I know what they're gonna say, but we can
Right.
always ask.
Oh, okay.
Right. 552,000 just for just the trail alone is quite a bit.
Well,
And what-
552,000 is basically taking everything south of Bald Eagle that we just did and making it look exactly like that going north.
Right, exactly. And if there's, go ahead.
Why can't you back up and take a look at option 1?
Option 1 was to leave the curb in place, and then you would do it on the backside of the curb. It just,
Right.
you have to deal with property owners, and if they're willing.
Right.
Then you didn't have that
Right.
curb of that cost replacing the curb, so.
I'm just slowly scratching my way down. But yes, that is good.
And we do have a trail study group working right now, and this might fit really well in there to help share
Yeah.
with the community and get the community involved and help prioritize.
I think the important part I
That
would want
is-
the council to understand is, it's the county is doing a project in 28, but they're doing nothing to the curbs.
Right.
They're just chewing up the blacktop. So your decision, in my opinion, could be independent, should be independent of whatever they're doing. You
Yeah.
can stage it at any time.
Right, it would be nice to, if we did do it,
At the same
do it at the same time or in tandem or fairly after they're done, so then we're not shutting stuff down again.
If they were already working on it, would it minimize some of the cost for us?
I don't think so. I don't think it'd impact your cost. And actually, they're gonna do their work probably in a matter of days. They're gonna have a moving flagging operation where they're gonna chew up one side and spit it back down, and chew up the other side and spit it back down. So less than a week's worth of work. Your sidewalk, your trail work is gonna take longer than that.
You know, that sidewalk is very smart to have on that side with the businesses especially. I know it gets really, really narrow in there between Seaberg's as well as Teddy's and Dairy Queen. Would that even be feasible to sneak it in off the curb
There's like
off there? Because that's a
it's tight.
real tight.
There's like 11 feet at the narrowest.
Oof.
And then it gets out to 35 feet in spots. So that's why we say that option, some of the costs included in that option versus other ones is, I've got like $20,000 or $50,000 in there to negotiate easements. Because you'll have to deal with the property owners. Maybe the trail won't be on their property, but you're gonna have to create slope and tie into their property. So you're gonna have right of trespass. It could impact trees along there.
So the asphalt trail that the snowmobiles run on, Is that 10-foot wide too, or no?
It is where we replaced it with the two projects we've been involved with, the sewer extension.
Yeah.
And then heading south from the Bald Eagle. We put it 10 foot. That's a standard section if you ever want your trail to be part of a bigger system.
Yeah.
10 foot is the minimum. The original trail was 8.
Okay.
And Mayor, this, if this was just a bituminous pathway and not moving the curb, you're looking at the 275.
That's kind of where I'm shooting
Still not
towards.
necessarily cheap.
No, but
Gives you a few years maybe to go ahead.
275 for dependable walkability on that side and ease of getting to businesses, Dairy Queen, Teddy's, Marine Max, going down to the ice cream store, going all the way down to Town Square. For 275, if we could somehow figure out how to crack that nut, that's worth it. In my opinion, versus doing 552 for a piece of concrete. We didn't plan for a whole trail hearing tonight. Make it quick.
All right, as a property owner, as the owner of Curious Blonde.
Address?
36378 County Road 66. So yes, it is very narrow on my property there.
Yep.
And so when you are making decisions, like she said, you have to think also long-term.
Yep.
And as the look of the town, you also have to think about that too. So it wouldn't be continuous look.
No, it wouldn't.
I'm pro trail in front of my business. But an idea is I have spoken to all the businesses on my side. We're all for it. I have actually just wrote a whole petition for this. But what we would be willing is to even talk about assessment and what cost sharing for the property owners and what that would look like.
Okay, that opens a different door.
And as well as with all of the people who have benefited from the trail, what would be the cost sharing across all of the people for that have already previously benefited from the trail?
As much as, you mean assessing other people for the trail that connect to it?
Yeah.
Great.
Because they got their trail in front of all of those businesses as well.
They did. I could probably tell you right now, assessing someone else for a trail that's already there, that's not in front of their business, even though it's ease of flow, would not work, would not go over well, I don't think. Unless they'd be interested, I think serving somebody else in an assessment would be hard, but.
Which is thus
I get
the
your
petition.
point.
Yes. That is what I'm working on, but that's what I wanted. There is more ideas that need to be discussed, not just going with the first option, second option. There's ways in which that the town can afford to.
Do you think you can get your petition completed by the next city council meeting? That's a month.
I won't be able to. I will be out of the country.
He's gonna be
Okay.
gone.
For the next 3 weeks.
Because I
Well,
think,
How soon do we have to make it?
I
I
don't-
am meeting with Mike O'Connell is also, I was going to meet with him later.
okay.
That's why I didn't.
As long as you're doing that.
Yes,
As long as you're doing that, we can get some more buy-in from the Lakes Foundation and that
Yeah.
trail.
Yep.
Let's have at it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'll speak with Mike later this week. So.
Okay, let's
All right, thanks, Chad.
circle back again here in the next, Pat, how quickly do we need this back to the county by, or Phil? I mean, it's 2028, this isn't really on their sonar even yet.
So can we?
Let's just wait,
table this?
figure out in the next 2 months if, Austin, you can loop in O'Connell and get some dollars pledged to this, and let's see if we can get to that 552 mark, and we'll play it from there. All right, sounds good. Any council members have anything they want to add?
No, I agree.
All right. We're gonna not take a vote on that. You know what, just because it has council action, I'm gonna make a vote that we hear back in the next 2 months on public findings.
Do we need to make a motion to?
I
table
just
it?
did, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Sandy. Is there any, go ahead, is there a question?
Just a recommendation,
Okay, yep, go ahead.
just to table this topic until further notice.
Sure, we'll change the verbiage to table. We'll table the topic. So Sandy, are you good? All right. We'll table the topic for 2 months. Is there a second? Second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Go ahead, Pat.
All right, next one is, year 3 improvements in Sunrise Boulevard. Phil gave an update on the year 3, and the county bids will open on 2/18 of '26. And are you done with Sunrise yet, Phil? Okay.
So are you going to throw Sunrise into year 3? That's my understanding, or no? This is just a double? Phil gave year 3, said the county opens, okay. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the bidding? There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. Is comments, questions, or concerns? Ms. Sylvester?
I'd just like clarity. So this road was not in the year 3 plan. This was a request by the citizens, and so that's why it needs to be bid separate. So that's why we're asking, the team is asking for approval to bid it after the year 3 plan goes forward. Thank you.
Perfect. There's a motion. There's a second. Is there all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
All right, the last one is just to have you guys approve the year 5 plan for the roads.
All right. You did. Never mind. Never mind.
I'll move to approve it. We've done a lot of, we've looked at this for a lot. Is that okay with you?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying we've looked at it a lot, yes. Go ahead.
I'll move to approve the 5-year road plan.
There's a motion to approve the 5-year road plan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second by Jamie. Questions, comments, concerns? Those in favor of the 5-year road plan?
May I just say something?
Yep, hop in.
As you know, on the second page, it does talk about our reconstructing the way it was originally set up. We're going to be changing some language. We have a meeting set up already for next week with a few
Okay.
people. I just wanted to point that out, that you're approving the concept of it tonight, but we will be reconstructing it to another 5-year road plan instead of just adding 2 years on.
Perfect. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Awesome, Pat. Thank you. Good job. Mr. Grund, Planning and Zoning.
All right, the second reading for naming a road. The purpose of this ordinance is to name an unnamed road as Fire Dance Drive and add the name to the master road index of the city of Cross Lake.
Thanks, Jody. We had our first reading on this last month. Is there a motion to approve the road?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion to approve Fire Dance. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second by Jamie. Questions, comments, concerns by council? Those in favor of approving the road signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Awesome.
Now, can we have a motion to place this in the newspaper?
Yes. Sandy or someone?
I'll move that we place this in the newspaper, the announcement.
I'll second.
There's a motion. There's a second to place a summary in the newspaper. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. TJ, Parks and Rec.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have 3 really quick items for you tonight. First is a memo that you do not need to take action on. It's more of just a recommendation as we continue to look at that trail. It states, at the regular meeting on January 28th, the Parks and Recreation/Library Commission passed the motion recommending continued efforts to extend the trail along County Road 103 from Perkins Road to County Road 3.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that is still moving.
Still going.
Good job.
Second item I have here is just a trail update. We just talked about it a little bit. Phil touched on it just a little bit here. Trail feasibility plan. The project steering committee met on February 4th. We reviewed all the input data that we received from the citizens. So looking forward, we're looking at creating a draft CIP report by March, looking at hosting a public open house, May of 2026, and a final report to City Council in June. So more to come on that. The CASA 3 trail extension, we are working with Whitseth and the county on a prelim engineering plan, which will be submitted to the Corps of Engineers for their review. The project remains on track for a spring 2027 construction timeline.
Good job.
The Brainerd Lakes Vulnerable Users Plan, you approved it in your consent tonight. We will be working with Bolton Mink. They will be leading this project. We look forward to partnering with neighboring communities to make travel safer for vulnerable users throughout the Brainerd Lakes area. So that's my trail
Keep it
update.
up.
And I just have a last update here from the county. In 2026, they are going to have a timber sale. So this will be on tax forfeited land just north of our community center park area. It only impacts really a half acre of our ski trails. We met on site last fall with Crow Wing County. I don't have any concerns on my end. I just wanted to let the constituents know what's going on. So if any trees start falling and you guys get phone calls.
As soon as chainsaws fire up in this town, it's game over.
So just more of a heads up there. I don't have any concerns.
No, totally understand. It is part of the industry, so. Thank you, TJ.
That's all I got, guys. Thanks.
Awesome. Jake, Public Safety, Extona Management IT Service Proposal. I could have sworn we've talked about this 3 or 4 times.
I know.
No.
Have we not?
It's the same company, but it's a different feature, right?
So we started, well, when I say we, I mean mostly Jen, started doing the CGIS audit with the BCA several months ago.
Okay.
And has been working very hard on it. It's just all sorts of new requirements that they have that we need to do. This was not on our radar. It was the last part of the audit that they said we needed to complete, and when we found out that we needed to do work on the server, or upgrade the server, I guess, I'm not a computer person, so it's over my head. But we had no clue that this was coming until we got with Extona and said, we need this, this, and this on our server for security reasons. And what you're looking at is the cost of doing that. Now, we're already upgrading our server, the whole building is, correct, Lori?
Yes,
Like,
we're in the process of that right now.
So we're in the process of that. If we weren't in the process of that, this would end up being like $20,000. So luckily, that other part was already happening. We're just adding a little bit more for the police department end of it. I'm not happy with it, but we don't have a choice. It has to happen.
Right, you have to do it.
I don't know why the BCA threw this as not telling people this is, we could have budgeted for it and we didn't. So it was just all sorts of new security fun stuff.
All right.
that they just keep throwing at us. So
more costs.
it's the last thing we need. The good news is we've passed the audit. We've done everything they need us to do. This is the last step. So as soon as
good job,
I get your approval, I hope then we can be done with it. And that's all. Thank you.
Lori, do we have, can we pull that
I
somewhere
say
from the
is
budget?
you've got the money.
So we did,
Got the money. Got the money.
we did discuss this. We did get a little bit more money than we had budgeted for from Sourcewell for our server. So we can take a little bit from there, and then I think we may have to take a little bit from your fund balance. So I think it'll be a 50-50 split.
How much are we getting from extra, how much do we have left over in Sourcewell?
Well, we're getting the full 20,000, and so I had submitted like 17, with the anticipation of some expenditures coming, so we will be able, and then I also budgeted for that without receiving that grant, so we do have some funds left in there as well, and we were lucky to get that grant.
So, you guys, I'm going back to our decision to put the money in roads and thinking, why did we do that if we needed to fund this? I mean, with that, I can't remember how much was.
Yeah, that $7,000.
That would take care of, can we split that money?
You can do it that way. I think we would then put it into a fund balance and then draw it out of that fund balance. And this, we do have money in your fund balance. It looks good.
It's a horse apiece. I'd much rather keep the 7,000 going into roads and just draw off your fund balance.
We have $156,000 in there.
So.
I'm sorry, Mayor, how much in fund balance for his?
$156,000.
Okay, thank you for that clarity. I'm good. I'll retract my request to.
Awesome. You want council action on this? Okay, I'll make a council action that we approve the proposal for Extona for the police department. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
There's a second by Bob. Those in favor of approving the contract or the proposal signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Public forum, one more time. Action may or may not be taken on any issues raised. If council requires more information or time for consideration, the issues will be placed on the agenda of the next regular council meeting. Speaker must state their name and address. At that discretion of the mayor, each speaker is given a 3-minute time limit. Seeing none, we're going to close public forum. City attorney report. Do I know the answer already?
I have nothing to report.
You do. Good evening, Mayor. Council. Nothing to report on our end.
Nothing going on? That's what I like to hear. How's everything? How are you, Jordan? We haven't seen you in a month. Good?
Yeah.
All right. New business. Any new business? Council members, city staff?
Just a reminder that our audit will be taking place the week of February 23rd. They are scheduled to be here for only 2 days this year, so that is
Good job.
a good thing.
Streamline it. Any old business? Old business? City council, staff members? Sandy, take it away. There's a motion to adjourn. There's a second by Robin. Those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned.